Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Watch the video all the way through. If you do, you'll have information nobody else has. You'll understand why Bitcoin has not bottomed and why it's going to drop to at least 38,000 in this bear market cycle, if not much lower. I've talked about these divergences that have formed on indicators. You now have it on the fear greed index. Again, we got a peak. We got a peak and a topping tail just under the 200 period moving average, and then we got a new close above that level, but still under the topping tail. And again, the RSI and other indicators don't look at the topping tail. So if you exclude it here and just look at the close, well, we got a divergence here on the fear greed index at the 50 level, getting rejection and turning down off of the 50 level. Now the moon boys that are telling us that we have a bottom at 60,000, they've got a real problem because you've got divergences everywhere, and you've got a divergence here at the 50 level on the crypto fear greed index. It's going to likely mark a reversal here off of the 200 period, but my signals have to validate that by turning back to bearish. There was no divergence at 80,000. We got a higher low. There was no divergence here at 60,000. We got a higher low. There's no divergence present. You're likely going to see one for a bottom with this next push down for Bitcoin bottoms. Now we have a divergence at the 50 level, and again, the moon boys got a real problem. We had the bearish divergence mark the top at 126,000 when they told us we had a breakout. We saw the crypto fear greed index validate that a couple of days later with the liquidation, the largest liquidation in history. It moved into the negative territory. It's been there consistently ever since, and the only time we pushed above it was to peak out at the January peak, slamming into this trend line and the 100 period moving average. So again, the moon boys have a real big problem, because everything I'm looking at is telling me that 60,000 is not the bottom, even though I'm the guy that predicted 60,000. And now all the people that are telling me, and I just posted this chart yesterday, and all the people, I'm getting laughed at and mocked and called every name in the book, really some filthy names. I had to block some people because, again, they were just getting so abusive. And again, same moon boy nonsense. They think if they call me names and they just scream loud enough, oh, you don't know what you're talking, that it will automatically make Bitcoin move into this new bull market super cycle. Bitcoin's going, to 250,000 this year, 500,000, no, 1 million. Again, the same people saying the same nonsense to me right now and giving me the same abuse because I'm telling you, getting warning signs that we could turn here. Now, my signals, listen carefully, are you listening? My signals have to validate that. Getting momentum warning signals, but I got to see my trending signals begin to all turn bearish by taking out 78 and 79,000. A bear flag, we've got a rising wedge in the bear flag, we've got warning signs with momentum signals turning, warning signs with divergences. Now those signals have to be validated with my signals, which are correct, turning back to bearish. My signals remain bullish. Great Scott, did you just hear what I just said? My signals are still bullish. I predicted this counter trend rally back on February 5th and 6th. I told you we were going to rally to the 74 to 80,000 area. We pulled back. I told you I got a good chance. We got a peak here, but find support at the support zone. Still may go above this level right here at 76,000. We did. Signals reverted back to bullish. We found support at the support zone. I told you we were going to make a lower high or a higher high. We made the higher high. Same thing over here at 79,000. We started to see a pullback, and my signals remained bullish. Below, my signals are bullish. Getting the counter trend rally. People, I still think we're going lower in a longer term bear market, at least 5 more months to October, maybe prolonged if we go into 2027. But because I believe that, they don't listen to what I'm saying. That, again, how many people have the guts to say, hey, we're bottoming on the 5th and 6th of February, back over here. And again, telling you where we're likely to go. In this case, it was the upper boundary here and the 100 period moving average. Same thing, higher low here. But we're going to go and make the test the 98,900 area, but not exceed it. Over here, I told you we were going to go up 74 to 80,000. I was wrong. We moved just above it to 82,000. At the top, I told you we were going to drop 50% end of January. Gee, I was 6 days off. We bottomed on February 6th. How many people have the guts to make those kinds of calls? Or when I called the final exit point right here at 116,000 after the back test there, going up into it late October, and then the January 14th peak here. Very few people have the guts to tell you exactly what they think. I'm not going to always be right, and that's why, again, and I told you, hey, we're going to rally to 74 to 74,000 to 80,000. What I think, and I say, hey, we got a good shot of a chop right here. If my signals turn back to bearish, did my signals turn back to bearish and stay that way and take out the support zone? No, they didn't. So I changed. I don't just say, no, it's my way. I don't dictate to Bitcoin what it's going to do. I try to interpret what Bitcoin's doing based on support and resistance levels and my indicators, which I do a good job. But in the future, I'm just basing things on what I'm looking at. And like I told you, 74 to 80,000 is major resistance. We moved just slightly above it into this area right here. Fine, we're still at resistance. And I told you if we did go higher, we could rally into that 200, which we ended up doing. But you get the same people saying the same nonsense that they said back up at the top, predicted the first leg down, how absurd it was for me to be predicting that Bitcoin was going to go to 60,000. Now these same geniuses are saying 60,000 is the bottom, predicting that we're going to get the next leg down of Bitcoin or a larger bear market followed by a next leg down of Bitcoin. And it can play out either way. I have to be watching and be looking for clues because, again, I don't know the future. If you know the future, well, you're one up on me because I don't know the future. I'm a trader and I look at support and resistance, look at mathematically based indicators. What I can tell you is as I told you, 80,000 was not the bottom. I'm telling you 60,000 is not the bottom, even though I'm the guy that predicted it. The people telling us it's the bottom now are the people that said we were never going to go to it. So again, the moon boys continue to be oblivious to what is going on. But again, I'm getting the same kind of abuse, predicting, showing charts like this and predicting that we will take this out. Now, again, it doesn't have to play out this with the measured move. That is one possibility. I said we can get the higher low scenario and a larger bear market rally, lower low scenario, larger bear market rally. There's about 3 or 4 different ways that this can play out. And again, let's have realistic expectations. Now, again, I can clearly tell you is Bitcoin is not bottomed out and it's not going to make new highs and the bear market is not over. Rejection at the 200 period moving average. We got to see my signals turn back to bearish. Right now, my signals are still, for the most part, staying bullish. And again, you got to take out the 78, 79,000 area. We could still try to overthrow the 200 period moving average. That's still possible. We're going to get a bigger bear market rally right here, right now. You got to clear the 200 and stay above it. You know, if the rejection scenario is going to happen at the 200 period moving average, you've got to see signals confirm it. Great Scott, did you just hear what I just said? Signals have to confirm it. My signals, which are correct, remain bullish. I predicted this counter trend rally. We've gone a little higher than I thought we'd go. I said 74,000 to 80,000, the resistance zone. We went to 82,000. If it's to continue, the signals will remain bullish and you'll get above the 200 period moving average. Then you got a shot at a larger bear market rally towards a 50% retracement. If signals turn bearish, then we can resume the decline and we'll go back and we'll test 60,000 and probably take it out. There are a couple of different ways this can play out. A higher low scenario, as I've said, if we sell off and still get the bigger bear market rally, or a lower low and still get the bigger bear market rally. But if this is the bear market rally, or get the bigger bear market rally right now, towards a 50% retracement, that's another way. Or if this is the bear market rally and it's just more feeble, then again, the measured move pattern. So again, about 4 different ways I see it playing out. Every single way leads to lower lows with Bitcoin. Every rally in a bear market is a bull trap. Do we get a bigger bear market rally here? Maybe, but you got to be able to clear the 200 period, stay above it. If you're greed, get back above 50. Other things I've been talking about, validate it. Rejection here, then I'll be watching. Do we get a higher low above 60,000 or do we take it out? So those are the 4 scenarios I'm looking at. If this evolves into a bigger bear market rally, I think less likely that we get a higher low and then a larger bear market rally. We get a lower low and then a larger bear market rally. And then 4th that the bear market rally is coming to a conclusion now, and the bottom is going to fall out of Bitcoin. We're going to get the next leg down. We're going to get a continuation of this in that measured move scenario that I've talked about. Those are the four scenarios that I see for Bitcoin. Every single one of them leads to lower prices. You know, the bear market is going to go at least 5 more months to October of 2026 if the 4-year cycle remains intact. If it doesn't remain intact, then the bear market could be extended into 2027. But those telling us, and I had somebody just tell me again, the 4-year cycle, it's broken. Yeah, as we topped right on schedule with it, to help me time the top, predict this crash. So I think it's more likely we're going to turn down and get rejection off the 200 period moving average. But those are the 4 scenarios. Now, looking at the risk model, we're still in a risk-on environment for Bitcoin. We're still in this counter-trend rally, but you've got divergences on indicators, and even here with risk-on, you're getting a divergence, a higher low, where Bitcoin makes a higher high in the most recent price action. So again, it's diverging, suggesting that the Bitcoin trend is about to change, the short-term trend here, and that we're about to move from a risk-on to a risk-off environment. And what could do that is, again, the U.S. resuming combat operations, causing crude oil to spike, that causing the 10-year yield to move to a new high. I continue to predict the 10-year yield is going to move to a new high. And we got inflation today. It moved much higher, 6% for the PPI. It came in much hotter than expected. And I told you the inflation indexes are going to rise higher. They're not going to go to the previous highs, but they're going to rise higher. And again, it's going to be believed that the Fed cannot cut rates. And there's going to be real concerns about the economy. And this is when the 10-year yield surges, oil surges to a new high, this is going to freak out markets. We're going to get on Friday the new Fed chair being confirmed, or being confirmed here with Congress, and when Powell got appointed and then he took office, markets crashed in 2018. Powell got reappointed. Bitcoin the 2021 peak, and Powell got reappointed and markets crashed in 2022. Prior to that, Yellen got appointed. Markets crashed. Bitcoin crashed. You're getting Warsh coming in. We'll likely see Bitcoin get a sharp leg down. That's been the pattern. Just food for thought. But the Moon Boy narrative is, Warsh is going to come in, he's going to lower rates. And again, he is going to eventually lower rates here. But it's going to be because it's going to be confirming that we're moving into recession, and Bitcoin's already pricing in the coming recession. It's the asset with the most volatility. But again, you try to explain this stuff to a Moon Boy, and good night. I mean, they are just brainwashed. And they keep regurgitating the same Moon Boy hoaxes over and over again. Please support the channel. Please support the channel with the link directly below. That allows me to be able to provide you this information. I just ask that you do that and help out, rather than having sponsors and sell you something or send you to some exchange that, again, how do I know it's not going to be the next exchange that goes under? I don't. So I turn those offers down. Most YouTube channels have sponsors. I choose not to do that. I need to hear from you in order to make that work. I'm showing you things that you're not going to see anywhere else, and giving you information that I use to make my decisions with Bitcoin. And I don't know about you, but they've really helped me. So take a moment when you finish watching the video, follow the link below. It'll take you to a secured website. You could donate any amount you want. Please let me know. Please let me know you want this information. It takes a lot of time and effort to do this, but I need to hear from you in order to make that work. So support the channel today. Anything helps. If a few people could just step up to the plate and help out, I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you for your consideration for that. Now, this is the Bitcoin daily chart. Now, I'll prove to you Bitcoin has not yet bottomed, okay? Why I'm so confident that Bitcoin, well, one reason is the longer term time frames are still suggesting Bitcoin is going much lower, and so are things like pre-parameter in the daily, confirmed bear market in the daily, the weekly, and the monthly time frame. In the weekly time frame, Bitcoin has never confirmed a bear market without first tagging the 200-week moving average. This is the daily, so it's not seen here, but again, lots of reasons Bitcoin is going to go lower. And here I have further confirmation and further proof Explain to you why 60,000, just as I explained to you why 80,000 was not the bottom, so too 60,000. Even though I predicted this would happen, come down here to this 1618 expansion below Bitcoin's average price, bounce surrounding that area, and I predicted at the top we drop down to 60 to 63,000. I'm telling you, it's not the bottom. The bear market has at least 5 more months to go. This is Bitcoin's average price right here in orange. This is the 100 period moving average. And again, we got above the 100 period moving average. Still have a shot of a larger bear market rally. And I've told you we have a shot if we can get above the 200. We start seeing a move towards the 50% retracement, which is at 87,000. We start seeing a move towards Bitcoin's average price. A shot at it. But we've got negative divergences. Momentum signals warning that we're going to turn down off the 200. So the bulls have their work cut out for them if we're going to get a larger bear market rally. No, we're going to get this is the bottom and we're in a new bull market. Just ask my favorite moon boy. And I posted a chart yesterday. I got bombarded with all of these moon boys telling me how absurd my chart is. And again, these are the same people that said how, that mocked when I predicted Bitcoin's first leg down. Now they're mocking as I'm predicting Bitcoin will get the next leg down. Whether the larger bear market rally is done or we have yet to start it, Bitcoin is going lower. It's just a question of, do we continue in the 4-year cycle? Does this thing drag out into 2027 and we break the 4-year cycle? The 4-year cycle is still intact. Nevertheless, I digress. We've dropped below Bitcoin's average price. When you drop below Bitcoin's average price, again, you're in the bear market until you get back above it and stay above it, like we did back over here. Here we rallied to it, we got rejection, we found support at the 100 period, you got above it. We've dropped below it. There's a change of behavior. We're finding support at it, finding support at it in the bull market. Now there's been a change, and we got rejection just under it. And so far we're stalling at the 200 period, not seen on this chart, as we get another lower high into key resistance levels at the 80,000 range, the low 80,000 level. Just as I told you back over here, we'd bounce off the 100-week moving average. I told you over here we're going to bounce, and this is one thing I talked about back at the time. We're hitting the lines here. I told you we were going to go down to these levels, and we hit a major trend line as well, going all the way back to the previous bear market, which I've shown you that. I don't have time to show you that today. But we've now had the 100 period cross below Bitcoin's average price, okay, and we're getting above it. Every bear market, time we've seen the 100 period drop below Bitcoin's average price, we've never seen a bottom at any of the bear markets until we've reached 2 standard deviations or 2.5 standard deviations below Bitcoin's average price. It's never happened before. And those deviations are continuing to drop as Bitcoin's average price continues to drop. So we bounced up the 1.68 fib extension to the downside. We're likely going to eventually take it out, and eventually these will continue to move down. And right here, currently 2 standard deviations is at 47,000. Currently, 2.5 standard deviations below Bitcoin's average price is currently at 38,000. So we know that Bitcoin is going, before it bottoms out, it's going to at least drop to 2.5 standard deviations below Bitcoin's average price, as it always does, dropping down to these levels. So Bitcoin will likely drop at least 38,000 before it bottoms, but this is going to continue to drop. We saw the 100 drop below Bitcoin's average price, and it remained below it. We had a counter trend, tried to get back above it, but the 100 period couldn't get back above it, and we didn't bottom until Bitcoin reached the 2 and 2.5 standard deviations. First here, blew through them and found support at it, and then later formed a divergence and we went lower, and we found a bottom there at the 2 standard deviations after already tagging the 2.5 standard deviations. And this is in every single bear market. So the 100 period being below Bitcoin's average price is telling us that, again, we're in a bear market. We're in a confirmed bear market in the daily, weekly, and monthly time frame, but we're likely not going to bottom until we reach these levels here, which are continuing to drop. So again, as I've said, Bitcoin's going to end up dropping 80 to 90%. An 80% drop is 25,000. A 90% drop is 12,000. All the bear markets have been approximately 80 to 90%. The smallest one we had was just under 80% at 78.5% right here. So again, well, back up at the top, I predicted the 50% drop, 50 plus percent drop down to 60 to 63,000, which is a 52% drop to 60,000 low. But I told you we were going to try to bounce off these levels in either a bear market rally or a miniature relief rally like we had over here. And this may be the bear market rally. Possible it's not done. I'm open-minded to that. And again, I've laid out the 4 different scenarios, but they're all bearish and they all lead to lower prices. And this is why I can tell you, even if Bitcoin has a bigger bear market rally now or it drops and then it gets a bigger bear market rally and we go on into 2027, I'm telling you, we're not going to bottom until we reach these levels and tag them or close below them. We dropped below Bitcoin's average price. You were never able to get back above it with the 100 period, and we got briefly above it with price, but you got rejection there. You couldn't stay above it. It acted as resistance. And again, we didn't bottom until we came down here. The 2 and 2.5 standard deviations have marked all the bottoms. Again, here in the bear market back in 2017 and 18, we took out Bitcoin's average price. We got rejection at it right there. Again, we saw the 100 drop below the Bitcoin average price, and again, we didn't bottom. Once that happened, confirming the bear market, we didn't bottom until, again, we hit the 2 and 2.5 standard deviation below Bitcoin's average price. Even after the new bull market had begun, we still even moved back to it with the higher low that's set up here with the pandemic sell-off. That those standard deviations acted as support with the pandemic and gave us the higher low. Bear market 2013 on into 2015. Again, most of that in 2014. Again, we moved back to Bitcoin's average price. We tried to rally. We broke it. 100 period drop below Bitcoin's average price. Again, we didn't bottom until we tagged the 2 and 2.5 standard deviation Bitcoin's average price. We tried to bounce off 2 standard deviations here, but it only gave us a rally back up to the 100 period moving average. Every single bear market, when you've lost Bitcoin's average price with Bitcoin, and then you've seen the 100 drop below Bitcoin's average price, you've not bottomed until you've reached the 2 and 2.5 standard deviation below Bitcoin's average price. Again, they continue to drop as price continues to drop. So they're going to go lower. And again, 2.5 standard deviation right now for Bitcoin is at least 38,000. So we're at least going to 38,000, probably lower. The Bitcoin's average price drops, so will the standard deviations. Showing you all the bear markets because they've all done the same thing. Now, again, here we had a parabolic move here in 2011. It gave us a peak with Bitcoin. We dropped down and eventually we were very far away from Bitcoin's average price, but eventually you dropped down to it. You bounced below the 100 period. Eventually the 100 dropped below it. But again, we were in the early stages of Bitcoin back over here. This was a 93% drop on Bitcoin, by the way. Again, the bear markets for Bitcoin have been approximately 80 to 90%. The smallest one was our last one at 78.5%. But 93% here, the next one 86%, the next one 84%, and then 78.5%. So here, you didn't bottom. You took out Bitcoin's average price, and eventually you bottomed here in 2011 at 2.5 standard deviations below Bitcoin's average price, and then the new bull market. But you had a 93% drop. Every single time Bitcoin has dropped down to 2 to 2.5 standard deviations and marking 2.5 standard deviations below Bitcoin's average price to mark a bottom. So right now that level's at 38,000. So I know we're going to at least 38,000 and likely much lower. Because Bitcoin has a history of dropping 80 to 90%. Hello, look at the chart in front of you, 93%. Bear market here in 2011. 86% here in 2013, 14, and 15, 84% here in 2017 and 18, 78.5% here in 2021 and 2022, the smallest bear market we've ever had. Even if they're getting smaller, and I've talked about this. When if the bull markets are getting smaller and smaller as far as diminishing returns. Each one is getting smaller. What if the bear markets are going to get smaller too? The last one, every bear market, you had 93%, 86%, 84%, now here 78.5%. So what if this bear market's smaller? Well, guess what? That at least, say we drop 70% and it's smaller than 78.5%, that's still taking you down to 37,000. Bitcoin's still moving to new lows. Do we have a shot at that? Maybe, but again, likely going to bottom once you tag or close below 2.5 standard deviations below Bitcoin's average price, which is currently at 80,000 or 38,000 and dropping. So again, you're likely not going to bottom until you tag this level, which will be at lower levels by the time we reach it. And as I said, every time the 100 is crossed below Bitcoin's average price and price is holding below Bitcoin's average price, bad things are happening. Above Bitcoin's average price and the 100 gets above it, good things are happening and you're in a bullish phase. So I'm a big believer in Bitcoin's average price and the 100 period moving average. Another reason why Bitcoin is likely not bottomed is we have not reached the lower envelope. This is pink line right here. And every time we've dropped below the upper envelope in the bear markets, we've always moved back to bottom at the lower envelope. And that's down here between 2 standard and 2.5 standard deviations. And it's, again, likely going to continue to drop if Bitcoin continues to sell off, which is why we're going to take out 60,000. Even if we get a bigger bear market rally, I talked about the 4 different scenarios. Say we get a sell-off and a bigger bear market rally, or say we get a bigger one right now. It's still a bull trap. We're still going to take out 60,000. Bitcoin has never confirmed a bear market dropping below the bullish envelope. When it's done that, it has always dropped down to the bearish envelope and marked the bottom. Always, every single time. You can see it over here. Every time we've dropped below the bullish envelope, here we dropped below it, back tested it. We're doing that right now. Again, you didn't bottom until you tagged the bearish envelope and that marked a bottom. And you tagged it a couple times here. And again, surrounding that same 2 to 2.5 standard deviation. So again, this is telling me we have not bottomed. That we're either in the bigger bear market rally right now or, again, counter trend rally that will be followed by a bigger bear market rally. But this 60,000 level, even though I'm the guy that predicted 60,000 and was told what a buffoon I was for predicting it and called every name in the book and attacked day and night by people telling me, no, we're going to 200 and 250,000. How's that breakout at the top working out? How's the buy the dip working out? People that bought this dip, believing it's a bottom, they're going to join these other folks back over here at the final exit point and over here at the miniature relief rally. And the people that bought the breakout at the top, they're going to be joining them because Bitcoin will eventually move down to these levels, which will likely continue to drop over time. Every time Bitcoin takes out, here's the previous bear market, every time Bitcoin takes out the bullish envelope, it drops back down. It doesn't bottom until it reaches the bearish bottoming envelope. And again, even with the new bull phase, we got above it here, but then we dropped back. We had the pandemic and we pulled back and it bottomed there. Again, along with 2 standard deviations below Bitcoin's average price. This is the bear market from 2017 and 18. Bitcoin going parabolic into the 2013 high, had the bear market of 2013, 14 into the lows in 2015. Again, took out the bullish envelope. And eventually it went back up and back tested actually. And eventually, again, did not bottom until we reached tagging the lower envelope. And you hit it here, took it out, hit that 2.5 standard deviation below Bitcoin's average price. And then again here, again, you did not bottom out until you went back to that lower bearish envelope, the pink line you see right in front of you. So this is how I know Bitcoin is not yet bottomed. And all those people saying that we have a Bitcoin bottom are the same people that told us we had a breakout at the top. And the same people that continue to tell us everything's a bottom. Last time they did it was at 80,000. These people are clueless to what's going on. Bitcoin's first bear market, it dropped 93%, took out the bullish envelope. We didn't bottom until we hit, again, 2 and 2.5 standard deviation below Bitcoin's price, but we took out the lower envelope. You didn't bottom, in each bear market, you didn't bottom until you took it out or until you tagged it in each and every case. But right now, and again, just going back to our current price action right now, again, I've got the Moon Boys attacking me yet again. You guys are clueless. These are the guys that told us we weren't going to crash 50+%, that we weren't going down to 60,000. But now they're the experts, and now they're telling, oh, no, bottomed and we're on our way. New highs. Bear market's over. These are the people that told us we weren't going to have a bear market and we weren't going to crash 50+%. They're clueless to what's going on. Just warning you, I've got the same people attacking me right now as I'm predicting the next leg down of the bear market, and it can unfold in 4 different ways, as I've said. But I've got the same people attacking me that attacked me for predicting the first leg down of the bear market, the crash to kick off the bear market. And again, they'll either be liquidated, or they'll get stopped out with the loss, or back a lot of the gains, or worst case scenario, they're going to continue to ride Bitcoin all the way down, just as many of them did in the last bear market. And a lot of people hodl by not by choice, but because they have to, because they make dumb choices buying into Moon Boy propaganda and believing Moon Boy hoaxes like the super cycle. They don't have the 4-year cycle anymore. It's dead. Hello, reality check. The 4-year cycle, we peaked right on time in October. Your cycle remains intact. Maybe someday it gets broken, but right now it's intact, meaning that we're dropping down to at least October of 2026, at least 5 more months from now. Maybe it breaks and we get an extended bear market, or the next bull market, we get an extended bull market and it breaks. Maybe, but right now it's intact and you have to respect it until proven otherwise. So again, I just showed you why I am absolutely convinced Bitcoin has not bottomed, why I told you 80,000 wasn't a bottom, and why I told you, even though I predicted 60,000, I'm telling you it's not the bottom, and the bear market is going to go much lower. And now the bear market rally could unfold in the 4 different scenarios I've talked about. Maybe it's done here. Maybe we get a higher low and we go higher. Maybe we continue right here now, or maybe we get a lower low and go higher. Open-minded. I don't know the future, but I'm looking at things objectively. There's not one bullish case, meaning the bear market's over, anything I'm looking at. There's no evidence that the bear market is over. There's evidence we either have a bear market rally that maybe may not be done yet, or is possibly finishing. As I said, if we drop and we get a bigger one, maybe we get another bigger bear market rally. 4 scenarios I've been talking about. Again, this is why I'm so confident Bitcoin has not yet bottomed. The Moon Boys and the herd will be wrong yet again. But before they get wrecked, you got to listen to a lot of foolish talk from them, just like I did right at the top when I called the top and predicted this crash. But you got to listen to a lot of foolish talk from people that have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And they watch, well, my favorite Moon Boy said, well, your favorite Moon Boy was wrong. And the indicators got it right. That's why I was able to call the very day of the top and predict this crash and predict that we would get this extended, this bear market that will at least go another 5 months into October. Hey, don't forget, support the channel. Follow the link below. If a couple of you could take a moment to do that, I would really appreciate that. Make sure you support the channel. Let me know you want this valuable information that you're not going to get anywhere else.